Welcome to the Lunation situation. We have a very special full moon at our hands. This is a full moon occurring at 29 degrees of Capricorn, and it is the second full moon in Capricorn in 1 month. And this makes it very special. This makes it once in a blue moon. So a blue moon is rare, it happens only once a year that we have 2 full moons consecutively in one sign, and it's different every year. Now, there are several reasons why this lunation is so special, significant, and meaningful. I have to go back a little bit, and I'll link the video below where I talk about this at the start of this year, but I will rephrase it here because this is significant to know. Well, we are in a Saturnian year because numerologically 2024 is an 8 year, which is ruled by Saturn, and both these lunations, these full moons, are ruled by Saturn, right? Because it rules Capricorn. And this year, 2024, started with the lunation in Capricorn. 2024 ends with the lunation in Capricorn. And we have 2 full moons. One of them, of course, being a blue moon, this one, in Capricorn. So 4 lunations ruled by Saturn in a Saturnian year. That is huge. That is not coincidental. We are going through the Saturnian trials, okay? There are major lessons and huge changes underway. Now, it is also at 29 degrees, and that is an energetic degree, okay? It means that there is a huge buildup with this lunation. 29 degrees of any sign means like, oh my God, the energy is ramping up. It's like a volcano ready to erupt. And, in this case, it's like a plutonic bomb, atomic bomb ready to blow up because it's conjunct Pluto. And that makes this pretty heavyweight lunation as well. And also, not only is a full moon in a very oddly Saturnian year, but it also is wrapping up a Pluto Capricorn story that started in 2008 with a huge bang. We started with a housing market crash in the United States that had a huge ripple effect, and even in places in Europe there was a huge difficulty, economic crisis, a lot of bankruptcies, a lot of banks going out of business, remember? And that theme has actually continued. There's a huge housing crisis in places like the Netherlands, like, big cities, especially all over the world, probably. I know there's a lot of homelessness in, for instance, the United States. So those are very, unfortunately, these topics that we encounter in the axis of the crab and Capricorn, which is hugely activated with this lunation, right? Because the sun is right opposite this moon. So something that started in 2008 when Pluto entered Capricorn is wrapping up, because this is the last year that we're going to experience Pluto in Capricorn. And soon in the autumn, fall season, it's going to go back into Capricorn, and meaning it's going to work with this lunation energy again in the coming, in a coming short time, really. And that's gonna wrap up this Pluto Capricorn journey, and we're not gonna experience this again for the coming 250 years. So this is a biggie. We're wrapping up this story of Pluto in Capricorn and what it has meant, because not only was there a housing crash and a, economic crash, many things changed from the very minuscule, because that is how Pluto works as well. It works right in that teeny tiny, minuscule, atomic, nuclear way, and also hidden right underneath the surface. So it can also be very small, incremental things that have changed and shifted that we're not necessarily aware of yet as well. But, Pluto is about demolition and crumbling, as it is, represented by the atomic bomb, because Pluto was discovered around the same time as the atomic bomb. So it's like the atomic bomb, unfortunately, is very destructive, and like that, it is permanent. Okay, permanent changes that Pluto makes. So things have shifted forever, and there's no more going back about certain things. And I think, for instance, the whole Corona experience and the lockdowns and all the things that came with that story and journey, and it has shifted things in society, in these systems that Capricorn rules over, such as governments, such as the political arena, economic systems that obviously Capricorn rules, but also the patriarchal system. Let's not forget the Me Too movement. Also, as I said, these very small little changes that that we'll probably see the effects of later on. And obviously also Pluto Capricorn theme is all these leaders changing, and especially at the end tail of Pluto in Capricorn, which is the theme of this lunation. So there's a huge shift in society and the rulership over society. As I said, the whole patriarchal system that's gonna get blown up, and yeah, this full moon is a huge symbol to that, like a crescendo, like almost a celebratory cosmic event that is really like wrapping up these themes. And perhaps also, as a full moon is always about revelation, bringing it into the light, that maybe we are finally going to understand a lot of these changes, and like, oh shit, like, whoa, that's forever gonna be different, and there's no more going back to certain ways of how it was. And obviously that's very difficult for some people to accept, because this is a cultural change as well. This is a societal change with a lot of impact and effect, and Capricorn is about many generations. It is about time, so long-term effects. And as I said, systematical changes that with now, well, in November, with Pluto staying in Aquarius for the coming 20 years, that's gonna forever shift. Yeah, so this once in a blue moon is for sure a huge topic of ending, shiftings, demolition, destruction, power plays, possibly ending of power, flaring up of power struggles. And as the sun is still in the crab, while this full moon is of course in Capricorn, it also means this element of homeland security, security issues, safety issues. Capricorn is also about military, so there is that theme as well. As I said, these permanent changes might not go well with the ruling conservative people that do not want these changes. So we are going to definitely see that, as Pluto is about that dismantling energy, and so is a full moon, you know. It's an ending theme. It's you know, a culmination energy, things coming to end, having to let go, and Pluto enhances that in the strongest, most powerful way. And it brings out and up so many issues of, you know, obsessions people have, fears people have, the you know, struggle between powerful or powerless. There could be issues of trauma and abuse with Pluto so close here. And definitely it's just facing our fears, because they're bubbling up heavily around this lunation. And of course, especially if you have something personally around 29 degrees of Capricorn, this is huge for you, and you have been working with this energy for so long, because Pluto has been dancing over this point for the last 2 years. And again, it's going to dance at this point for the very last time this year. Pluto is going to go back into Capricorn September 2nd, and you know, it's going to enter into Aquarius November 19th. So it goes back to 29 degrees and 39 minutes. It is very possible that from this lunation on until November 19th, that Pluto enters the Aquarius sign for the coming 20 years. So it means that we have 3 months of you know, this Capricorn energy being activated by Pluto. And I think a whole lot could change in the coming 3 months. I mean, in a not so good way. So this dismantling energy, this crumbling energy that this lunation is bringing to the most ultimate high point, this will not go unnoticed. Like, I would be very surprised if this just flew by and we would, you know, it would be an easy ride. I don't think so. I don't think so in a Saturnian year with, you know, once in a blue moon. I think things are ready to crumble. You know, it's like System of a Down. Like, things are, I don't know, this is a bit of a mayhem energy. And moreover, it's a big ending theme. Well, what is Capricorn about? I've hinted a few topics, but it's also about structure, issues in structure, issues with order. It's about the top, you know, it's about the executives, the CEO, the leaders, those in charge. Issues with that can happen. This is about maturity. So older people as well, especially older male men. This is about, of course, destabilization with Pluto so near. The negative effects of Capricorn are about pessimism, feeling lonely, loneliness, very sober energy. You know, it can feel very restricting, like there's strictness around you, like there are rules and regulations, like there is a rigidness, potentially control, because that's a Capricorn theme as well. It is also about tradition and conservatism. So topics around that could bubble up as well, but also hugely be shifted around tradition, conservativeness. Is there a need to conserve? Is there a need to create new traditions, you know? is there value in that conservative energy, or is the other side of conservatism just that rigidness, that, you know, not wanting to evolve and like restrict and control, right? That kind of conservatism is gonna go. Because in a higher expression, in a way, Capricorn and Pluto both seek like higher truth. 29 degrees is also, I feel, about elevation, like stepping into the need for a higher expression of energy. So that for Capricorn means integrity, self-respect, authenticity, as it is also ruled in a way. Well, Saturn also rules Aquarius, so there's always that authenticity and that spiritualism to Capricorn that we might sometimes forget because it's so about the material world, right? Let's not also diminish that. Saturn and Capricorn are, you know, Capricorn is the last earth sign, so it's about mastering the physical, tangible world. So mostly it's about, obviously, materialism, material accumulation, you know, so success, financial success, prestige, being known for something, being in charge, being in control, right? Those topics are definitely here. And with 29 degrees, either they go fully out of control and like, you know, havoc with this Pluto as well, or it's, you know, stepping up into your personal power and elevating these energies into your authentic expression of what success means to you, not what it means to this material world. And as I said, a Capricorn, yeah, there's that material aspect, but it might not be a very high expression of it. Because ultimately, what I really noticed recently is that these last three signs of the zodiac wheel, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, you know, literally have water symbolism in them, okay? So Pisces obviously is a fish swimming in the sea, so that's pretty obvious. Aquarius is the water bearer and, you know, holds an urn that where water flows out of, literally in the constellation, okay? And so is Capricorn. Capricorn is actually the sea goat. You know, often it is referred to as the mountain goat, like climbing the mountain, climbing the top. And yeah, that's the material aspect of it, you know? But it's kind of like a medium expression of Capricorn. People with like limited awareness might think that that's like really successful beingness on this world. But actually, it's a sea goat. It's not a mountain goat. You know, it's a half fish in a way. It has a fish tail, right? And the head of a goat. So, you know, I guess the head of the goat is referring a bit to that stubbornness and that eagerness, that willpower that a goat has, and that desire for success, whatever that means. But the tail, the water element in both these three signs at the end of the zodiac wheel are so meaningful because it's about the spirit. The last three is that evolutionary road. So, you know, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces are about higher spiritual advancement. So Capricorn should really move into that direction for its highest expression. And that is, you know, definitely not just this material world, and actually stepping above it and asking yourself again, what is true success to you? Because true success is actually immaterial, and that is part of that Capricorn journey as well, but it's a very high expression. And again, as I said, self-respect, it's about respect. So the problem with sometimes materialism, right, is that you step over boundaries, or you like step over other people and like use and sometimes maybe abuse to get to certain places, right? That's like part of that material world, it seems. But if you elevate yourself and understand that, you know, immaterial things are just as important as the material, probably, or maybe more important, then you understand that it's not, the respect is also about self-respect. It's also about integrity. Like, is this your true path? Is this what you want? Is this success to you? What does all of that mean to you? What kind of, well, Capricorn is the 10th house as well, so it's the top of the chart, and it means public life, public image, what you're known for. And in other words, it means the legacy you want to leave behind, because let's not forget, Capricorn is that generational sign, 7 generations before, but also 7 generations ahead. So you want to leave something sustainable. You want to leave a mark on this world, on your family, that you're known for, that leaves a part of you behind, that makes a difference, okay? And a huge part of this blue moon in Capricorn is about that too. Like, what is your legacy? Like, come on, the energy's so ramping up, so building up, and that Pluto here is reminding us that it's time to step into your uniqueness and your power. This is about leveling up. This is about moving through and being true to thyself. It also means that all this ramped up energy is like, where are you going? And is where you're going worth it? So there is an urgency to step up big time. There is an urgency to step up and step into the best version of yourself. And if that is the journey you have been on for a while, well, full moons are also harvest times, right? Where you might get some fruits, because I think especially modern astrology teaches us that, you know, Saturn is not just that rigid, you know, huge lesson giver, but also, you know, a lot of burdens and hurdles that can come with Saturn. It's not just that. It also, when you apply, when you take these lessons to heart, when you improve yourself, and you really want to learn and be better and do better, then Saturn gives out these gifts. So with this full moon, there's also the element of like, well, if you've taken these lessons to heart, then, you know, the universe might also give you a gift here and there. And that's maybe specifically significant for people who have something around 29 degrees of Capricorn, or the very beginning of Aquarius, and means also the end tail of a Capricorn, right? So if you have anything around 27, 28, 29 degrees of Capricorn, this is applying for you. But also only if you stepped up and did the work, right? So our goals are shifting, and the meaning of success is shifting, and the meaning of top-down kind of pyramid structure of authority is changing. You know, because with Pluto and Aquarius, we're going to step into personal authority, hopefully, and, you know, individual power. So that whole power dynamic that was in place for such a long time, that top-down authority, specifically the patriarchal system of that, is going down. But, you know, most of these things will not go down without a fight. So that is something we will likely encounter. The struggles with these changes. And so this also reminds us that this is just about overcoming the continuational need to improve, to get better at what you do. How can you be the master of your own journey? How can you be the master of your own power? How can you improve this world and leave your mark, leave your unique personal legacy? You know, and as in popular culture, they say the GOAT, which I recently found out what it means, which is the greatest of all time. And that is so Capricorn, not only because there's the GOAT, obviously symbolism in Capricorn, but greatest, hello, 10th house, and of all time, as Capricorn and Saturn rules time. So yeah, where are you ready to step into the greatest time, the greatest version of yourself, become the greatest of all time in your own unique way? That is part of this universal push to know, to be aware of where you're going and if it's worth it. And, you know, it's also, if you're on the wrong path, a redirection of where you shouldn't go or what you shouldn't do or what's not worth it. But as I said, it can also come out as constrictions, obstacles, hurdles, complications. When we look at the chart, the lunation makes a sextile to Neptune, a trine to Uranus and Mars, and a quincunx to Mercury, and obviously an opposition because a full moon is always that. So exactly opposite the moon, of course, we have the sun. So there's always this push-pull between these two energies, which is about, you know, home, family, mom, dad, career, comfort, going out, staying at home, you know, the push-pull between the crab energy and the Capricorn energy. That's the nature of this full moon, which is why there's heightened emotion and but also heightened intuition. These are very intuitional signs as well. And also perhaps, you know, understanding a bit of the value of family and the value of comfort, home, protection, safety, nourishment. This is all at play as well. But so when we break down the aspects, the moon makes pretty strong sextile to Neptune at the end tail of Pisces. Neptune is retrograde, thankfully, because that means that there's more clarity that Neptune brings. There's less confusion, there are less illusions, which speaks very well with the Capricorn. So there's more reality here, there's more real view on things. We are not putting on the rose-colored glasses. We're really seeing like intergenerational stuff here. We're seeing the subconscious links between, you know, why we do things, certain behavior, why we consider something to be a success, why we're driven to have a career in XYZ, or, you know. So we're really dismantling a lot of these behaviors within ourselves and even the goals, the motivations. So there's a deep healing, generational healing that takes place here. It is generational karma clearing up. It is a deep ending to a cycle. This enhances the demolition part, the excavation part of Pluto, and it adds removal. And things are clearing up and clearing away with this Neptune. So positively, as I said, this is generational hurt, burdens, confinements, generational restrictions that are, you know, clearing away. The water is clearing up, and so healing can take place. Then the trine, this is pretty significant, to Uranus, works first of all with the algal fixed star, and I have a very deep dive video about that I will link below, because I'm not going to go into that here. But algal has two very different meanings to it. It is usually a very evil expression. 84 years ago, Uranus was at algal too, and we had a horrible, you know, mass murder with the Second World War. But also, you know, the huge technological advancements that made all that possible. So we have Uranus here again. So there's a choice, like, do we want to invoke the evil? Do we want to recreate the past? Or have we effing learned from certain things? And, you know, with Pluto in Aquarius, that, you know, has, you know, we have been slowly by the universe been worked in. And now, as I said, November 19th, it's going to stay there for the next 20 years. This invokes a huge ethical question about technology. But that ethical question was also there 84 years ago when Uranus was here at algal, right? And unfortunately, nobody answered that ethical question. But now I feel we really have to, because the effects of these technologies and technological advancements are so permanent, as Pluto confirms, can be so devastating, as Pluto tells, that the ethical question is higher than ever before. And again, it ties back to Uranus being here at the algal placement, trining this huge catastrophic, potentially catastrophic lunation, okay? Like, what way do you want to go? What way are you going to use all of this technology? Are you, you know, gonna, bring the end to your own tail? Or are you going to be more responsible, which is also a higher expression of Capricorn, right? Are you going to be responsible with, all your power? Or can we turn that algal energy around, as I speak of in my video, and, you know, value the immaterial, value pleasures and great love and comfort and joy? Can we bring more of that into our lives and really, like, hone in on that, focus on that? Because that is the higher expression of algal that we could step into. You know, we could have a very different experience if we like, but we have to be responsible, we have to care, we have to be disciplined, but not in the, like, hardcore career way that we have been taught Capricorn to be, but just responsible in the sense of, you know, just wanting a better world, wanting a better future for yourself and your family and your loved ones. And, you know, in a way, so much love seems to be lost, and the Medusa story tells us that we can find that back, and then we have hidden powers. And I think, you know, listen to what Medusa can mean, because that's what the fixed star algal is about, what her specifically, I guess, decapitated head could mean. because it's trining this lunation, so it's a huge impact here. It was actually on Algol just the day before this on July 20th. But, you know, it's a slow-moving planet, so we're actually going to experience Uranus on Algol for probably another year. Yeah, so this lunation is working with that. So integration of that theme, of that Algol Medusa theme. And you know, Medusa is also about the feminine stepping up into her power, and I think there's a demand here that the aspects are pointing to as well. Then very near Uranus is Mars, and Mars is therefore also in this trine. It's specifically also trining that Pluto, and that means that the masculine energy is changing to there's a fresh new vibration to the masculine energy. As I said, it's not anymore about just having a lot of money and a lot of success, a lot of awards or whatever that means, big houses, I don't know. That's changing, and Mars is at 0 degrees of Gemini, so first of all, it has 2 goals, right? And why is it only material goals? You can have both, right? You can have the immaterial and the material. So yeah, there's a transformation of the masculine, probably linked to that patriarchal change that's going on here as well. But I do have to warn that Uranus and Mars being this close can be about, you know, potential accidents and speed related issues, careful in traffic, you know, with sudden moves, and you know, sharp objects, a little bit of stress, perhaps even on the physicalness, okay? And then I guess the last aspect is a quincunx, which is an odd, uneasy relationship that actually requires integration, but it's just uncomfortable because the energetics are very different. And so the quincunx is to Mercury, who's at 26 degrees of Leo. And of course, Leo energy and Capricorn energy are very different. But in a way also similar, right? Because Leo is about leadership and being brave and stepping up and being courageous. So there's a bit of that in Capricorn, obviously, as well, as that is about managing and being on top. Definitely about leadership as well. Except that Leo is maybe more in the heart, right? It's more about love. It's more about romance. It's more about courage from that. It's driven with the need for expression and creativity, right? It's more childlike, whereas Capricorn is more mature. But what really is going on here is that Mercury is bringing in information. Mercury is bringing in a change in communication, and, you know, the information leads to learning new situations, new facts. And that is very uneasy, apparently, during this lunation. Not only is it uneasy, but it is also squaring that Uranus conjunct Algol. So that seems to be not so great news, okay? And maybe a mental conflict, as this is the low mind and the high mind. You know, Uranus and Mercury are all about information, just different perspectives, you know, a ground perspective of what's going on in the world, and then Uranus being, you know, a higher perspective of looking from, you know, the top and seeing more connections. So there's a conflict here. Maybe also a conflict in desires. So Mercury seems to bring in just shining a new light on something, big information that could cause stress and, you know, trigger a bit of that evilness that Algol is known for. But ideally, a quincunx to this lunation would mean that we should incorporate more of the heart factor, more of the innocence like a child, the creative aspect, you know, the lightness into the Capricorn themes of, again, like, you know, goals, success, legacy, okay? Meaning that, in a way, we can play around more with these themes, and that we can be more bold in these themes, but in our own unique way. And, you know, Uranus being on Algol, Mercury being in Leo, the moon in Capricorn being with Pluto, these are all power dynamics, very strong power dynamics. And so clearly, obviously, there's a problem with power with this lunation. Like, you know, some are losing their power, some are stepping into their power. And there's obviously going to be that struggle, that power dynamics played out around us. But we could also obviously feel that within ourselves. It's just a cry for more feminine power, which is both in the men and the women. And again, as I said, the cry for courageous power motivated by love and loyalty. From the beginning on, it's very clear that there needs to be a change in commitment, that we need to be committed to what we really value, what's really worth it, what's really gonna matter in the long term. A lot of intergenerational clearing, karma clearing, you know, a lot is going on at the last decan of so many astrological signs, right? So the last of Capricorn, the last of Pisces, Chiron is at the second decan of Aries. There's a lot going on at the end of Taurus. Of course, the sun is at the end of the Crab. Mercury is at the end of Leo. So that's a lot, you know, there's a lot of, but it's also the last decan is also mastery, and it's also like ending lower expressions of energies and really stepping into, yeah, higher spiritual expressions. And I think that's what we are really called personally. But as I said, collectively, you know, it's going to be a bit of a chaotic struggle. Very noticeable. This is not going to be subtle. And also that Mercury 26 degrees of Leo is significant because we are having a Mercury retrograde on this point. So it also signifies that reflectional thing that Mercury is going to go through. So we're really going to ponder this lunation a little bit longer. As I said, it's not just going to be 1 or 2 weeks after this lunation, which is usually the case with a full moon, perhaps, you know. But this, because of the Mercury going to go retrograde over this point, it's going to drag on a little bit. And it's also going to drag on when Pluto goes back into Capricorn for the last and final time. So I think it's just like a preview into the coming time, because August is going to be very complicated, very volatile energies. September has a very intense eclipse, and then, you know, October, November is that, you know, D-Day kind of energy with Pluto being for the final time in Capricorn. So a lot is dismantling, a lot is, you know, falling away. We are needing to let go of many things And, you know, Pluto makes everything intense, and it might not feel that great. And we might be really afraid of like, well, then what's going to happen? What can I hold on to? You know, what do I need to do? You know, how's it going to go forward? What's the long term? And, you know, we might not be able to look that far ahead for the coming time. And it might be more survival based, you know. And back to that Mercury again. So it's going to go retrograde over this point. Mercury starts its retrograde August 5th. It means that with this lunation, it's already in pre-shadow period. So July 17th, it starts to slowly slow down. So by this lunation, it is in the pre-shadow for 4 days. Meaning that, you know, the planet of our communication, of information, of business, of mobility, of local movements, our neighborhood, that is slowing down. We're being reflective. We're being reflective about this lunation, therefore, too. So there's that about Mercury, but also the 26 degrees of Leo is also a cazimi point. So on August 19th, we're going to have a Sun conjunct Mercury, which means that we're going to be enlightened. We're going to receive a lot of insights and new ideas and concepts, helping us move forward. And August 19 is also that very volatile full moon in Aquarius. It's going to happen on that same day. So yeah, this lunation is just, I don't know, like the final curtain kind of vibe. Things going down, shit going down. So what we can expect is crashes, demolition, things coming to light that may feel very uncomfortable, and just a huge ending theme. You know, don't take on too much. Be kind to yourself. You know, be self-respecting, and listen to your intuition, and be true to thyself. I wish everybody a very, hopefully good full moon in Capricorn at 29 degrees and a blue moon. Yeah, but you know, we're always supported by the universe, and always love wins. So there's that, right? Take care, and I'll see you in the next lunation situation. Thank you so much for viewing. I appreciate you very much. And if you can also like and perhaps leave a comment, then I'll be very, very, very grateful. Thank you. Bye.